Ever wondered why there are no direct flights between South America and Asia despite being economic powerhouses on their continents? This question may seem simple, but the answer is a complex tapestry of geography, technology and economics. South America, with its vibrant cultures and vast natural resources, and Asia, the beating economic heart of the globe, seem oceans apart, and they are. The Pacific Ocean, the world's largest water body, stands between them as a formidable geographic challenge. But that's not all. Even our most advanced aircraft, like the Airbus A350, have range limits that fall short of the extreme distances needed for direct flights. And let's not forget the economics. The cost of operating ultra-long-range flights and the existing airline network structure, with its efficient stopovers in global hubs, make direct routes financially unfeasible. So buckle up, we're about to take a deep dive into these challenges. Let's dive into the first challenge, geography. South America, a continent rich in cultural diversity and natural resources, finds itself isolated from East Asia by the world's largest body of water, the Pacific Ocean. South America's geographic positioning presents a unique conundrum when it comes to establishing direct air routes with Asia. The Pacific Ocean, with its vast expanse, stretches out like an impenetrable barrier between these two continents. Imagine trying to cross the largest body of water on our planet, a feat that would require covering distances of more than 17,000 kilometers. The sheer magnitude of this journey is enough to make even seasoned pilots gulp. Now, let's take a step back in time. The routes we see today, such as the popular Sao Paulo to New York or Buenos Aires to Madrid, are largely a product of historical connections. These connections were forged through centuries of exploration, colonization, trade and migration. And these routes didn't just spring up overnight. They evolved slowly over time, guided by the invisible hand of global wind structures. Wind structures, you ask? Yes, indeed. The Earth's atmospheric wind patterns play a significant role in shaping air routes. Jet streams, for instance, are like highways in the sky for airplanes. These narrow bands of strong wind at high altitudes can help aircraft travel faster and burn less fuel. And guess what? The prevailing winds tend to favor the existing routes, providing an extra push for flights heading from South America to North America or Europe. But when it comes to the Pacific, the story is a bit different. Crossing this oceanic behemoth is not just a matter of distance, but also of overcoming the geographic isolation it imposes. There are no convenient stopover points, no islands or land masses big enough to serve as stepping stones on the way to East Asia. It's just open water as far as the eye can see. And let's not forget about the Earth's curvature. Our planet isn't a perfect sphere, but an oblate spheroid, slightly squashed at the poles and bulging at the equator. This means that the shortest distance between 2 points isn't a straight line, but a curve, known as a Great Circle route. For a flight from South America to Asia, this route would take it over the frigid expanses of the Antarctic, a path fraught with its own set of challenges. So, while the world may seem smaller than ever thanks to modern technology, geography still holds sway, reminding us that we are, after all, bound by the physical realities of our planet. The Pacific Ocean, in all its vastness and majesty, stands as a testament to these realities, a geographic hurdle that continues to shape the way we connect with each other. Now that we understand the geographical hurdles, let's move on to the technical challenges. The sheer magnitude of distance is a formidable obstacle when considering direct flights between South America and Asia. We're talking about a journey that spans more than 17,000 kilometers. To put that into perspective, that's around 4.5 times the length of the Great Wall of China, or the equivalent of flying from London to Sydney and then hopping on another flight to Bangkok. Modern aviation, despite its leaps and bounds, has a limit. Even the most advanced airplanes, such as the Airbus A350, can't quite reach the distance needed for a non-stop flight from Sao Paulo to Shanghai. These planes have maximum range limits, which, while impressive, would need to be extended for such a mammoth journey. Now, let's talk about the aircraft themselves. The most common models buzzing around our skies, like the Airbus A320 and the Boeing 737, fall significantly short. Their ranges don't even reach half of the necessary distance for this hypothetical direct flight. We're not talking about a quick jaunt across the pond here. This is a full-blown marathon of the skies. So, what's the solution? Specialized long-range models, of course. But these aren't your run-of-the-mill airplanes. They require significant modifications to attempt such trips. Imagine turning a family sedan into a Formula One car, and you'll get the idea. It's not as simple as just adding more fuel tanks or strapping on bigger engines. These modifications are complex, time-consuming, and most importantly, expensive. And that's where we hit another speed bump, the operating costs. You see, aviation isn't just about how far you can fly, it's about how efficiently you can do it. Every additional kilogram on a plane, from the extra fuel to the in-flight meals, costs money to transport. So a plane that has to carry enough fuel to cover the distance between South America and Asia is going to be a pricey bird to run. This isn't even considering the cost of the airplane itself. Specialized long-range models don't come cheap. They're the luxury sports cars of the aviation world, and like their road-going counterparts, they come with a hefty price tag. So we find ourselves in a bit of a catch-22 situation. To make direct flights between South America and Asia possible, we need airplanes that can go the distance. But these planes are expensive to buy, modify, and run. It's a tough nut to crack, and one that the aviation industry is constantly working on. With the technical aspects covered, it's time to delve into the economic feasibility of these direct flights. Because, as we all know, in the end, it all comes down to the bottom line. The demand for air travel between these regions does not yet justify the huge investment in ultra-long-range aircraft. Now that's a sentence that packs a punch. But what does it mean, really? Well, let's unpack it. First off, let's talk about demand. It's a fundamental principle of economics that supply exists to meet demand. Now, in the case of air travel, demand translates to passengers wanting to fly from point A to point B, in our case, from South America to Asia. But here's the catch. There simply aren't enough passengers making this journey to make direct flights economically viable, and without that demand, airlines are reluctant to invest in the costly ultra-long-range aircraft necessary for such flights. But what about business travelers, you might ask? Aren't they willing to pay a premium for direct flights? Well, yes, but there's another factor at play here, the airline network structure. This system, which has evolved over decades, favors stopovers in global hubs like New York, London, or Dubai. These stopovers allow airlines to maximize the efficiency of their operations. They can fill planes to capacity, ensuring every seat is sold, which is crucial in an industry where profit margins are often razor-thin. Furthermore, these global hubs serve another purpose. They act as connectors, linking together multiple flights from various origins to various destinations. This means that a passenger can fly from practically anywhere to anywhere else with just one or two stopovers. It's an incredibly efficient system, but one that doesn't favor direct long-haul flights between regions with low passenger demand. So the economic challenge of establishing direct flights between South America and Asia is a bit like a game of chicken and egg. Until there's enough demand, airlines won't invest in the necessary aircraft, but without direct flights, it's hard to stimulate that demand. It's a delicate balancing act, and one that airlines are constantly assessing as they plan their future routes. Now, let's not forget about cargo. South America and Asia are major players in global trade, and air freight is a crucial part of that. But again, the economics come into play. Cargo doesn't care about layovers. It doesn't mind if it takes a little longer to reach its destination. So for now at least, it's more cost-effective to transport goods via existing routes with stopovers rather than investing in direct flights. The economic implications of this lack of direct flights is notable, and it's not just about technology. Yes, technology is a key factor, but as we've seen, it's just one piece of the puzzle. The economics of air travel is a complex, ever-evolving field, shaped by factors such as passenger demand, the airline network structure, and global trade patterns. And for now at least, these factors are keeping South America and Asia a little bit further apart than we might like. The lack of direct flights not only reflects technological limitations, but also aligns with global economic strategies. Now let's dive into the economic and strategic implications that shape the global air routes. In the grand chess game of global air traffic, the kings and queens are the central hubs. These are the airports that have dominated international air traffic for decades. Think London's Heathrow, New York's JFK, or Dubai's International Airport. These hubs have been strategically positioned to intercept and distribute air traffic, like grand spider webs catching flights from every corner of the globe. Now consider the position of South America. It's not just a matter of geography, but of history and economy. South America's ties with its traditional partners, Europe and North America, are deep and multifaceted, shaped by centuries of trade, migration and cultural exchange. These relationships, cemented over time, have influenced the air routes that we see today. So why not create new direct routes to Asia? Why not cut out the middleman and go straight to the source? Well, it's not as simple as drawing a line on a map. These decisions are influenced by a complex mix of factors, including demand, cost, and the strategic objectives of airlines and governments. Let's start with demand. The demand for direct flights between South America and Asia is simply not high enough to justify the huge investment in ultra-long-range aircraft. The number of people flying between these two regions is currently dwarfed by the traffic between South America and its traditional partners. Next up, cost. Operating ultra-long-range flights is expensive. The aircraft required for such journeys are specialized models that need significant modifications. These high operating costs, combined with the relatively low demand, make the economic feasibility of such routes questionable at best. Lastly, let's consider the strategic objectives of airlines and governments. Airlines are businesses, and like all businesses, they exist to make a profit. It makes more financial sense for them to maximize the efficiency of their operations through a hub-and-spoke network, rather than investing in risky, unproven direct routes. Governments, too, have a stake in this. They want to maintain strong relations with their traditional partners, and directing air traffic towards these partners helps to strengthen these ties. In conclusion, the lack of direct flights between South America and Asia is not just a result of geographic or technological challenges. It's a reflection of global economic strategies, where central hubs dominate international air traffic. For South America, this means maintaining stronger ties with traditional partners rather than creating new direct routes to Asia. But who knows? As the world continues to change and evolve, so too will our air routes. Now let's wrap up what we've learned today. As we've seen, the absence of direct flights between South America and Asia is a complex issue, stemming from geographical, technical, and economic challenges. Our journey has taken us across continents, oceans, and into the very heart of the aviation industry. We've seen that geography plays a significant role. The Pacific Ocean, the world's largest body of water, poses a daunting barrier between South America and East Asia. The sheer distance involved here is extreme, with direct flights needing to cover more than 17,000 kilometers, a feat that pushes the boundaries of modern aviation. Technical limitations also come into play. The most common aircraft models, like the Airbus A320 and the Boeing 737, fall far short of the range required for such a journey. Only specialized long-range models, tweaked and modified, can even consider making the trip, but this leads to increased operating costs. And this brings us to the economic aspect of the issue. The demand for air travel between these regions, at present, does not justify the enormous investment in ultra-long-range aircraft. Moreover, the structure of the airline network, with its reliance on stopovers in global hubs like Europe and North America, is designed to maximize the efficiency of operations. The lack of direct flights between South America and Asia is not only a reflection of technological limitations, but it also aligns with global economic strategies. Central hubs like Dubai and London rule the roost when it comes to international air traffic. For South America, this means maintaining stronger ties with traditional partners rather than forging new direct routes to Asia. In conclusion, the world of aviation is a complex web of geographic realities, technical capabilities, and economic strategies. It's a world where the shortest distance between 2 points isn't always a straight line, and where the seeming disconnect between two continents is a product of these intricate dynamics. Next time you're planning a trip, you'll have a better understanding of why your flight may not be as direct as you'd like. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the skies.